Paratich is a workaholic. He really is. Every person I speak to that they always call him Fabio. Everyone that knows I speak to various agents is all Fabio, because I think he just has this incredible network of people that he speaks to, and he, from what I understand, has barely taken any time off since the start of the season. Since the end of the season. Just been working away on getting these things lined up. You look at it, he's brought Ivan Perisic in already. Fraser Forster's in already, and it is Basuma. Looks like it will be done within probably the next 48 to 72 hours, I'd say, because from what I understand, he was set to fly over to the UK today, and then medical tomorrow, which is Thursday, in case you're watching this on Thursday. And then once you've done that, look, I know Spurs, sorry, I've got dry throat for some reason, just so I'm starting this cracking timing. I know Spurs like to tack on a couple of extra days sometimes, and you think, why have you not announced this yet? But I think this one should be really wrapped up quite quickly now. And of course, I do have a couple of days off. I'm technically doing the fixtures tomorrow, and then Thursday afternoon, Friday and Saturday I've got a couple of days off. So you can pretty much guarantee that Basuma will be announced on one of those days. But he's heading over. So he was on international duty. Then he picked up an ankle injury. I think he came off at half time in... I should have said, obviously, if he's flying in today, he will be staying at the lodge overnight in order to crack on straight away with his medical and all the formalities tomorrow. Personal terms aren't expected to be an issue. On international duty. I want to get this right. So he went off at half-time in Mali's game away at South Sudan last week with an ankle injury, and he has been various images. Anyone that will have been looking at his social media will have seen he's got one of those protective boots, and he's had crutches in a couple of them. But he did stress to his fans that it's not a serious problem. And obviously, we've got 2 weeks until they're back for pre-season, and then another 9 days before they fly off to Korea. So we'll find out more, obviously, in the coming days, but hopefully that's not an issue. There seems to be a thing with Spurs and players arriving injured. Sessegnon, I remember, did that back in the day. Perisic, obviously, is arriving with an injury, but he should be fit for the first day, if not the first couple of days of pre-season. I don't think Forster's got an injury, not we've been made aware of. I think the thing with Basuma is he is a ready-made Premier League player. He has, on the pitch, always impressed me, especially against Spurs. Seems to play very well against Spurs. He is, I think you can say he's been one of the best players, I'd say, midfielders in the Premier League in the last couple of years. I think he's blossomed into a really good player. I think he's had a couple of knee issues in recent seasons, but didn't miss too many games last year. He is a dominant midfield player. He's got a bit of everything. I was kind of reading some really interesting bits and pieces on him in the last couple of days. Because I think I said in the last video that he was a player that Spurs were really looking at as one of their potential kind of signings that looking at from the Premier League. So I kind of did a bit more reading up on him, and it's some of the stuff about him and just the way he plays, the tactical way he plays the game. He likes to play on the on the front foot. He likes to get the team very quickly moving into attack, and that's exactly what Conte wants from his central midfielders. We've said that before about, and that's why he likes Skip. My voice is going to absolutely ruin me during this, isn't it? Do you know what? I'm going to have a quick drink, as I've got one right here. Spurs cup. No, the club didn't give it to me. I've had that for years, which is why the cockerel on it is pretty much faded and going. But Basuma. Likes to get the ball on the front foot very quickly. Likes to take up these really kind of positions in the midfield to receive the ball that maybe other midfielders wouldn't. He likes to take a little bit of a risk. Maybe a little bit of a Bentancur about him in that respect. And that quality now in the midfield, that's options, isn't it? You've got Basuma, you've got Højbjerg, you've got Bentancur, you've got Skip. Probably not going to have Winks because I imagine he'll be off. I know Everton really like him, among a few others. But still, that four... that is a hell of a four for various competitions, and they will all play games. What that means for, I know I've said before, Paratich really loves Weston McKennie from Juventus, and had him above Bentancur on his January want list, but he couldn't get him away at that point. What that means, we'll see. I'd say right now it would look as if that's unlikely. However, I guess it depends, A, on what the price would be, B, on whether anyone else leaves as well as Winks. I mean, you are going to lose, you'd think, this summer, Winks, Lo Celso and Ndombele. So that is 3 midfield players going. So maybe if he feels he needs a fifth, because obviously if he wants to play with a 3-5-2, but I just think, as I've said before, I think that extra player for that role is more likely to be a creative central midfielder. But, McKennie is a threat in the box as well. He likes to break into the box. So whether Paratich just says to Spurs, look, this guy is going to be absolutely class, and tries to push it through, and we'll see. We'll see. But I'd say at the moment, Bissouma probably has made that less of a priority. What else we've got? Bissouma. Obviously, look, he's made headlines off the pitch this season. What I would say about this, it's UK journalism is very restrictive in talking about anything to do with ongoing police investigations and stuff like this. Look, I've been a journalist for many, many years. Probably too long. I've been a journalist for, it'll be 20 years next year. And back in the day, well, I was a news reporter for 5 years. And there's a very set way you can talk about various things when it comes to incidents and stuff. And I think the UK may be slightly different to other countries. I don't know how it works, but in the UK we have a very set way we have to write about stuff. So the best thing I think I can say on this subject is that if you look at the articles I wrote yesterday about Bissouma, I spoke. I wrote also about an incident that took place in Brighton back in October, and writing about that incident, I spoke to Sussex Police about that incident, and they gave me a statement on the current situation of things that had happened in that incident. So I think if you probably go and have a look at my stories, and that will give you a statement about that incident, and read it very carefully in the wording from the police, and then obviously you will be better informed about what happened in that incident to a degree. But like I say, it's really difficult. It's really difficult to write or speak about anything because, yeah, that's the difficulties on reporting on ongoing police investigations. So, yeah. That's all I can say on anything about off-the-pitch headlines when it comes to things like that. So, yeah. So that's Bissouma. Hopefully, I think it is likely to be one of my days off. There's no questions about him as a talented player. Certainly is up there. Like I say, the amount of games that I've seen him really be a threat against Spurs. And I'd say also, in the big matches, he also seems to really turn up. And I think he's been a major thrust of why Brighton under Potter have been a rising force, I guess, is the best way to say it. Price-wise, I haven't mentioned that, have I? It looks like it's going to be a deal that eventually, with add-ons, can be over 30 million. I think in terms of the basic, looking at far less than that, probably less than 25 million, I think, in the basics. And the reasoning behind that is because he's only got a year left on his contract. A lot of Premier League clubs have been looking at him, a lot of the big boys. Spurs have stolen a march in there, and he's going to be a huge addition to that Tottenham Hotspur midfield. It really is.